Hi, I'm Lisette and welcome to my channel, To Beauty and Beyond. I want to show you just a little bit about how I do my at-home nail dip. It's called Next Gen Nail Dip, but in the end, it's just a different way of doing acrylic on your nails. So this is what they look like. If you're in the same position that I am, that you're willing to kind of try something new, try to do it on your own, either because of COVID and all the salons are still closed, and or if they're starting to open, your nail technician might not be back like mine. Mine's not gonna be back until sometime in June, if that's even something that she'll come back to. So I'm not sure, but until I get up the courage to find a new nail technician, I'll do that on my own. I am super picky about who does my nails and how they end up looking. So it's kind of like finding a doctor. Once you find the right one, you hate to change. So I know a lot of you kind of can relate to that for me, or with me, I should say. So I'm gonna walk you through it, show you what I do. Now, my disclaimer is I am not a nail technician, but this is just kind of how I learned to do it on my own by just watching my own nail technician do it. plug this guy in here. So there's my Dremel. I'm gonna kind of move this out of the way. And it might be a little noisy here, so bear with me. I'm going to use this yellow tip here. Now I got this nail drill on Amazon. I can't recall if it was maybe $30. It wasn't much more than that. And it's worked great so far for what I use it. I will say though, it's not the strongest. It gets the job done, but if you apply too much pressure, then it starts slowing down or completely stops on occasion. Or if the cord at the end here ends up getting jiggled around just the wrong way, it'll kind of stall. But that's okay, you know, like I said, I can kind of deal with it. So we'll just do that just a little bit there. I'll switch that out and do a finer grit diamond tip on that. I like to try to taper it down as much as possible. Without damaging my nail bed. Let's just go there. You know, and some of you ladies might have experienced this, where when you get your nails done, you get like these little half moon shapes on your actual nail bed. That is because the nail technician is putting just a little too much pressure when they are trying to do their job. So if you start feeling that pressure or that slight burning feeling, you're gonna end up with that. And that's not good. Like I said, that damages your nail bed more than putting the acrylic on your nails. It feels decently smooth. So now I know this is crazy. I just said it's smooth. Yes, it's smooth in the sense that there's not much of a ridge, as you can see. But now I'm gonna go in there and roughen it up just a little bit. The roughening part is gonna help everything adhere to the nail. And I'm just gonna go by and do that to all of them now. Just real lightly. I'm sure some of you may be asking how in the world it is that I'm doing this. Trial and error, trial and error, and lots of patience. So if you are like my friend Lauren that doesn't have patience, sorry Lauren, but you know that I love you, but she's not the most patient person in the world, so this is not something that she would ever try, nor does she have time for. She's got a sweet little baby boy that needs much of her attention. Now, I'm holding the Dremel with my left hand and working on my right. And don't misunderstand me, it took me a long time to get that down. Between trying to do a light hand, but still getting the job done, without tearing up my fingernail or my cuticles, that is a feat in itself. There you go. When I first started doing this on my own, it was taking me an average at about 2.5 to 3 hours. Yes, I have lots of patience and I'm very persistent. So here I am. All right, so everything's kind of been roughened up, smoothed down and roughened up, if that makes sense. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but it will make sense to you. Okay, so I've already put some acetone in here in case I need to dip my brush in there. I'm just gonna grab a new cotton round and get that nice and wet with acetone, just to have that ready if I need it. All right, so here comes the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and do the pink. I haven't done the pink in a long time, so let's go for it. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Okay, so there's the quick dip part 1. This is it's called nail primer, but essentially, let's see, this will dehydrate your nails, clean them up of any excess oil, whether it's natural oil from your nails and or any residual from the acetone. Some acetones have just a small level of some type of moisturizing agent on them, so it doesn't over dry your nails. So if you've ever bought some of the nail acetone remover or nail polish removers that are, I guess you could say, for sensitive, or you notice that they don't really remove your nail polish as good as some, that's why, because there's a little too much of that in them. Okay, so that's step number 1. We'll just move that out of the way. Okay, step number 2 is the nail base and top gel. So this is the step number 2. This is essentially the glue. That is what's gonna help the powder, the acrylic powder, adhere. Then step number 3, they're calling it a gel activator. And yes, that is exactly what it is. It is an activator. So basically it causes a chemical reaction between the gel, well, they're calling it the nail base and top gel coat. Step 2, it chemically interacts with it and it will automatically harden it, or harden it very quickly. So I'm gonna do exactly what the nail technicians do, is I'm just gonna put one thin layer just right at the base of my nail. And just take it all the way down, just so it creates a nice thin layer, even layer. I'm just gonna grab my thumb and dip it in. And then I like to just tap it on there, get all the excess powder off. And then I'll go back in with the step 2. This time I'm gonna go just a little bit further down from where the base of the first coat went. I am taking it all the way down just to try to keep an even coat as best as I can. And then I'm going to dip it again. Tap. So far we're looking good. I'm going to do one more layer. This will be my last one. And what I'm doing here, just going over and over again, not like I'm adding more to it. I'm literally just thinning that down. And I'm gonna try to get a little bit up at the top here with whatever may be remaining on it, which is not very much, but I think it might just be just enough for it to get that little bit of loose powder nice and wet. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my gel activator. Now this one does require just, well, let me rephrase that. I don't know that it requires a lot more, but I end up putting a lot more of this on just because I want to make sure that that liquid gets in all the little nooks and crannies where I put the powder. Okay. So there you go. There is the first one. And show you, see if I can get that to zoom in. Maybe if I do that. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna do the exact same step to the next one. I'll show you one or maybe two more, and then I will not bore you with sitting here and watch me do all 10 fingers. I did not grab any more. I'm just literally thinning it down as much as I can. Okay, now I'm gonna dip, tap, and then that's what that looks like. Okay. I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I'm gonna go a little bit further down. Layer number 2. Looking good. Last one. So while I'm showing you guys this, I'll tell you a little bit about my granddaughter. Let's just say she is freaking adorable. She was 6 pounds, 13 ounces, and she is just the sweetest little angel. She was born the day before Mother's Day. And I tell you guys, what a precious Mother's Day gift. There we go. So you can see that's what that one looks like. And now I'm going to put that gel activator. The whole family's doing good. Mama, baby, and daddy. We spent the entire week with them. And they are such good parents. They are going to be fantastic. Alrighty guys, there you go. That's what that one looks like. Alright guys, so on this one, this was the nail that I had to completely cut a whole bunch of it off because it was just very loose and not adhering to the nail anymore. So I am adding 2 full coats all the way up to the cuticle. I've already added 1. This is going to be my second one. That little squeaky noise you hear in the background is my daughter walking around with one of the dog toys. So sorry about that. And then that's my second coat right there. This is going to be my third coat, and just like the other ones, I'm not going to go all the way up to the cuticle. I'm just going to go almost to it, and I'm going to build that up. Bend that down. Now on this one, there is a huge difference in the size between this and where the other nail is, and I don't know if maybe you can tell that it's got like a big hump. So after this one, I'm just going to keep adding to this portion of it to try to build it up to match the rest of it, and then I'm going to have to thin that down. So on this here, I'm starting to get a lot of the buildup around the edges, so I'm just going to grab my brush and just very lightly remove as much as I can off of that. And then this will be the fourth coat for this one, but I'm only going from here to here so I can build that up to match up as much as I can to the rest of the nail. I'm just removing the excess here so I can start thinning it down a little bit more. And dip it again. And I'm guessing that I'm gonna do, this might be my last one, and then start, well, I'll go to the rest of them, and then I will come back and talk about this one particular one once I have all of the rest of them pretty much trimmed off and smoothed out, and then I'll just concentrate on this one. So I don't know if you can tell, it's just almost to about the same thickness. Of course it's got a big hump right now, but once I thin that down and trim it up, then it'll look normal, or about as close to normal as it's gonna get anyway. I'm just putting the activator on it, making sure that I'm just covering everything that I can. Cover all the little nooks and crannies. Okay. Now, that does not look pretty, okay, at all whatsoever, but it will look a whole lot better once I'm done. All right, so I've done all of the cuticle cleanup, and I'm going to now move on to filing the edges. And I'm not going to do too much just because I had already trimmed them down a little bit and shaped them on Sunday before I did my nails. So I'm just basically doing a quick rough filing for any excess that I've gotten on here. Now, some of these have gotten really thick. I don't know if you can see the edge, the very tips of them. I don't like that. So I am going to just go to town just a little bit on those very tips, just because I've added more acrylic to them. It's gonna have them be a little thicker, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know how much I can control of that, but I'm doing the whole nail, but concentrating more on the tip. I do like mine a little on the square. So I'm gonna put that here. You can barely see it, but I use that as a guide. Okay. Don't know that you can tell, but the thickness is much better on that index finger. Let me just go to the next one. This is a coarse grit nail file. This is the one that is specifically made for acrylic nails because it is so coarse. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 180 grit. Not going to be perfect, just because I've done my nails for so long during COVID that I've just got lots of layers of acrylic. So I'm just thinning them down so I can hold me over until I can muster up the courage to get somebody else at my salon to do my nails other than my favorite nail technician, Jenny. Jenny, if you're watching, I promise I don't hate you. I just miss you a whole lot. Okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get for right now. Oh, let me see. Smooth this out just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now we'll move over to this one. See, this one is a little bit thick. Not horrible. Okay. All right, so that's what they look like right now. It's looking pretty decent, looking pretty good. Now I'm just gonna go in there and buff the entire nail. Gonna make it nice and smooth all over. Now I will attempt at one of two things. I'm either gonna try to hold out for at least another 2 weeks and decide on whether or not I'm going to continue doing my nails until sometime in June when my nail technician decides to come back or can come back, or if I'm just gonna bite the big bullet and basically try somebody else out. But either way, I will keep you guys posted. Okay. All right. So this one needs a little bit more smoothing. There we go. And the question that you might be asking is, well, how do you know how much to buff and how much to, when to stop? You will feel that there might be just a little bit of ridginess on the nail. If you feel that, then that's when you want to go ahead and buff a little bit more. Or if you have a corner where it feels a little too sharp, like on this one right here, this pinky, so just kind of buff that down and then feel again, and now that's perfect. There we go. All right, so now with the last step, I'm going to move this off a little bit and clean off some of this powder off of here, because you want to work with a clean surface to do your nail polish. So I'm going to grab a couple of these cotton rounds and put some acetone on them. Now this is going to serve two purposes. One, I'm going to use the top one to clean this off and get all of that powder off. Eek, look at all that. All right, let's see if I can get this, dry it off the rest of the way. There we go. And then I'm going to use this other wet one off to the side there, and I'm going to use my brush. This is just a brush that I got at, where did I get this brush? I got this at Joann Fabrics. Just go to the art department, the art section, and get a tip that looks like this one. It's going to be a whole lot less money if you go into the art department at Joann's or Michael's or any craft store and get something like this versus going to, let's say, Sally Beauty Supply and purchase a quote unquote, an actual nail brush. You're gonna spend about $7 to $8 for a nail brush versus $2, maybe $3 at the most on this kind of brush. So there you go. Money saving tip of the day. Nail polish that I'm reapplying is by Sinful Colors. It is number 945, called Soulmate. And this is really pretty nudie, kind of, I don't know, kind of corally nudie color, which is great. Okay, so nail polish 101. You don't ever want to shake the bottle up and down. You want to just grab it in between your hands and just move it side to side to mix it. If you shake it up and down, it'll create bubbles and it will not apply properly to your nails. Tip number 2, don't have your ceiling fan on. That will create bubbles as well. Okay, so here we go. You just grab your nail polish, and I'm going to show you with this hand so I'm not blocking your view. But you dip your brush and you just clean off one side, and you're just going to have the nail polish on one. So I'll turn it around so you can see that. Okay. So I'm going to do that with my left, and then you want to just get close to the cuticle and just push up and then slide down. Now once you get that first couple of strokes, then you can go in and do the rest of the nail. Now this Sinful Color nail polish I got at Walmart. I'm not sure where else you can get it, but let me tell you, good stuff for the price. It's under $4. It's got good good color selection and good coverage. Go in with a light hand. Then I have a little bit on the side, as you can tell here. So that's where you want to pick up your brush and just kind of soak it in there, and then grab it and try to just do the very edge and just wipe it. Same thing on the top of the edge of the cuticle here. Try to just get as close as you can to the cuticle. There we go. And then I'm just going to go on to the next one. So with nail color, depending on how pigmented the color is, you're going to want to do at least 2 coats. I tend to do two to 3 coats of color. Since I do have dip on my nails, I don't put a base coat on. So for you ladies that have natural nails, I always recommend to do a base coat, 1 or 2 base coats, and then at least 2 layers of color, and then 1 layer of top coat. And I know this is gonna seem like overkill, but I promise your nail polish will go on further and stay longer if you end up putting another layer of clear coat midweek. So let's say you do your nails on Sundays like I do. You're gonna wanna put another coat of clear coat on Wednesday. And that'll take you the rest of the week for your nails to look nice and shiny, and to ensure that your nail polish isn't gonna chip. Now, tip number 3, for you ladies out there that have natural nails, before you start putting your nail polish on, what I would suggest you do is to go ahead and grab a cotton pad with some alcohol, and that's going to dehydrate or dry out your nails, and it'll remove any lotion, any natural oils from the nail, and it'll help your nail polish adhere to your nail a lot better. And that's what's going to help you, once again, help your nail polish stay on longer. All right, guys, so I've done 2 to 3 coats of nail polish color. Now I'm gonna finish everything off with the Seche Vite, and I'm so sorry if I'm completely butchering it up, but this is the best brand of base coat and top coat out on the market, in my opinion. I've tried a lot of them, and by far this is the best one. It dries quick, it's super glossy, it's thick, but easy to apply, and you can get this at Sally's. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but you're looking at about anywhere between 5 to 7. So well worth it, guys, let me tell you. So well worth it. So I'm just gonna close up my nail polish color here, put that off to the side, and you'll see how kind of thick of a coat I'm gonna put on there. I'm just gonna do the same technique where I'm just gonna clean off on one side, and then I'm just gonna go in and just with a very light hand, as you can see, it's gonna be nice and thick. And I'm just really gonna lay it on. With as much as I'm putting on there, you're only gonna need 1 coat of this top coat. Even though it is a quick dry top coat, I will still recommend to wait at least 30 minutes to an hour before you start doing any hard, heavy activity, just because of the amount of layers that you have put on. See, it's like, I'm putting it on there fairly thick. But as far as the purpose for, I don't know, let's just say because you've been sitting here for so long, for the sake of like just going to a potty break within about, I'd say 10-15 minutes, and you'll have to check it. You'll need to make sure that it's just at least dry enough to the touch to where you're able to go get a drink or something, but still being careful, because like I said, with as many coats as we put on, it can still distort it, pull it, whatever it, and that does not make mama happy. So definitely take it slow on that one. All right, so that's what that looks like. Nice and glossy, nice and shiny. Love it. All right, here's the finished product. Looks good. Not perfect by any means, but I can totally live with it. And so, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave it on there, and blessings to all, and until next time. Okay guys, so it's been approximately an hour and a half. I'll have to double check the runtime on the camera just to see exactly how long it took me from beginning to end. That way you can get a better idea of how long it might take you to do this if you're starting out versus you doing it for a while, and it still takes a long time, but it's worth it. It's not perfect by any means. If you are a nail technician, you will be able to notice the imperfections, but honestly, you know, for the everyday person, you'll be happy with the result. It'll be okay, and it looks good, and it'll hold me over until I jump the gun and, you know, decide to go ahead and try a new person until my nail technician comes back. So we'll see if it lasts the next 2 weeks as far as me wanting to continue to do it on my own, or just go ahead and go in to the salon and try somebody new. So anyway, either way, I'll keep you guys posted. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down below. I will link all the products that I've used for today's video. And blessings to all, and until next time.